Sound check. We're almost ready to rock and roll the rullas.
You need to go back on mute, sweetie.
Tick, 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 almost 3 o'clock. Hey there, everyone. It's Leslie Rogalski from Team Leslie for TheBeadSmith with another Facebook Live. Today, we are going to rock some Rulla beads with our Regal Rulla pendant. These Rulla beads are really fun to play with. They come in lots and lots of colors, and they have 2 sides. I'll get into the 2 holes. I'll get into that. But as I was sitting here waiting to go live, I wanted to show you that I thought these could also make really cool beaded beads, because I started to do this as I was sitting here waiting and thought, look at that. And what if I piled them up and stacked them? Wouldn't that be cool on like a kumihimo rope? Yeah. But for today, we're going to do the pendant. You can see I played around with colors. Very simple pattern, and you can make a beaded cord for it, or you can string it on a cord of your choice. So here we go. Let's get into the steps. For this pattern, there we go. For this piece, you will need Rulla beads, 2-hole Rulla beads. I have 2 colors here. You will need 2 colors of size 11s or 1 color of size 11. I did this pendant. I just used green 11s throughout. You will also need size 6 beads. I happen to really like the Matubo beads because they're rather cylindrical. So they have a symmetry and a flat side that works really well in some designs. You will also need size 8 seed beads. So Rulla beads, 6s, 11s, and 8. And once you're familiar with this, you'll see that you can really play around with lots of different colors. Okay, step 1. I'm using Fireline and size 10 needles just so I can see them easily, but 11s or 12s are fine too. The size 11 beads are the smallest beads, so whatever needle can fit through those is what you can use for the rest of your project. So I started with a yard of Fireline, and I left a little tail on this one just so you can see where I have strung 10 rullas and 10 size 11s into a circle and knotted them together, just in a square knot. And you want to make it snug, but not so snug that you can't get through the beads. And then at a convenient time, you're going to thread your tail onto another needle and just weave it in so that it's out of the way. So once you have this, and they do flap around, remember to check both holes of any 2-hole beads that you use to make sure they're clear before you work with them, because as you can see, my thread went through 1 hole in each one, but if I start to stitch around and suddenly I get to a ruler where this 2nd hole I can't get my needle through, then, then I say words that I won't say in public. And I have to start again. All right, so you have your ring, and you want to make sure that you understand how these beads are kind of flipped out. This is going to be beads on one flat side of the pendant. So the beads that I'm sewing now are the green beads with the silver that face up this way, right? So the Rulla pendant has a flat side on one and a flat side on the other side, and then a side where you're going to add the second color. So it's like a really thin slice of a cylinder. So what you do next, after you've done this, you're going to sew through to exit through one of the stitched holes of one of your Rulla beads, and you're going to reverse direction and go through the other open hole of that bead. Then you're going to pick up a Rulla. I'm using my second color here, and I usually pre-check my beads when it's a piece that's this small because there's not a big quantity. But instead of counting out, if I'm making, say, a bracelet and there's going to be dozens of Rulla beads, each time I pick one up, I hold it up and look at it. If I can see through the hole, we're good to go. So here I have the ring and my second Rulla. Doesn't matter which hole. And you're going to exit that first Rulla and go through the open hole in the next Rulla working around. So it looks like that. I'll do that again. Pick up a Rulla, check the hole, go through the open hole of the next Rulla. Doesn't matter which direction you work, whatever's comfortable for you. And you can continue adding Rullas around between the first round of Rullas, and you're going to end up with this. Now we're going to do the same thing we just did, reverse direction. You're going to make sure that you're coming out of one of your new Rullas, the first one probably that you strung, and you're going to reverse direction. So my thread's going this way. Now I'm going to go through this way to start working in the opposite direction around the pendant. Now you can see how these are already starting to turn. These are forming the side. So when you're picking colors, you know that the second round of Rullas that you pick up is going to be the side, or what I call the rim, of the Rulla wheel that we're making. Now you're going to pick up and you're going to fill in Rullas in between each of the new ones that you just strung. So I'm going to pick up a turquoise one again. Move these over here to stay on camera. So I've checked to make sure the hole's clear, and I'm going to follow that direction around, sewing from open hole to open hole. And don't worry about them flopping around right now. You're going to turn them. Let me put another one on so you can see. Pick up a Rulla, go through the next Rulla, following the direction around. And you can see that these are going to fold over, and the new ones that I've picked up are going to form the other flat face of the Rulla wheel, and the second color is going to form the rim. So we're going to keep doing that around, and we'll end up with this cool looking component. So we have 3 rounds of Rullas, and the round we just did, we're going to flip in so the open holes face the center, and we're going to do our reverse direction through the open hole. So I'm coming out of this turquoise Rulla right here through the outer hole. Now my circle was sewn around this way, so to put the seed beads on the inside so that it matches the first side that we did, I'm going to reverse direction and go back through the open hole in the Rulla that I'm coming out of. And I'm going to pick up a size 11. I'm using the silver ones again. Sew through the next Rulla, open hole, and put your size 11 right there. And pull it kind of snug, so this will really help to make those Rullas behave. Pick up an 11, silver, go through the next open Rulla hole, Again, you can see why you want to check to make sure your ruler holes are all clear each time you stitch them. Make sure both holes are open or you're going to be very unhappy later on. Okay, pick up an 11, go through, and then you're going to continue all the way around. Yes, it's hot and sticky. My beads are sticking to my hand. You're going to go all the way around to complete that inner circle with 11s. And you'll have a ruler wheel ready to go and put the picot decorations on the outside. Kind of looks like a sailing ship wheel. Okay, that sounded very untechnical. Okay, a sailing ship wheel. So I'm going to continue in the direction around that I've been working. So I'm going this way. And I'll go through that, probably that first 11 and the next ruler. So you want to make sure you're coming out of a ruler. Now I'm going to reverse direction to the outer hole of that same ruler. Can you see where my needle's going through the outer hole there like this? Okay. And I'm going to continue through the rim ruler, because what we're going to do now is we're going to add those picots with the 6s, 8s, and 11s going from on a diagonal across from rim ruler bead to rim ruler bead. So I want to make sure that I'm exiting completely through to one of those rim ruler beads. Now I'm going to pick up a 6, an 8, and I'm going to pick up a black 11 because it might be easier for you to see. So there's my tip. I'm going to pull the beads down. And to make a picot, you skip the last bead. That was strung, so I'm not going to sew back through the black 11. I'm going to go through the 8 and the 6, and it's going to make that little picot tip right there. Okay, now you want to make sure, well, first let's do this. So my thread for this was coming out the inner part of this rim ruler. Now I'm going to go on a diagonal and sew through, continuing around in my direction, the outer hole. Now this helps to keep your picot centered, actually, rather than stitching through inner, 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 inner. And this part is important. You want to make sure your picots are snug, and you can grab the end bead and kind of jiggle it. I'm pulling on my working thread as I'm fiddling with this to make it sit in the center. Let's do that again. Now this time my thread is coming out of the outer hole of the ruler that I just went through. So I'm going to pick up a 6, an 8, and an 11. Pull my beads down to the rim. Skip the 11, sew through the 8 and the 6, and on the diagonal from outer to inner this time to go through that hole. And as I'm pulling my thread, I can jiggle the picot. And you're going to continue to add that all the way around, but you're going to leave 2 empty rulers when you get to the end, and I'll show you why. Here is where we're going to put the loops that you can put your cord through. So you can see that my picots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I only have 8 out of 10. And then I have space for my little bails that I'm making. So the bail, the number of beads that you string on the bail, I have 11, 8, 11, 8, 11, 8 because I like the texture. You can string all 11s, you can string all 8s, however you want to do it. And depending on the kind of cord or rope that you're going to string, you're going to make sure that you have enough of an opening. So this is thread after the last picot that I put on. It's coming out of one of the rim rullas, the bronze color. And now I'm going to go actually through the little tip of the green one, because that's going to make the loop, the bail, sit properly sideways like that. You see how that is? Now you can, if you want, go reinforce this, and I encourage this. So my thread is coming out of the end turquoise, the little end of the turquoise rulla from one of the flat sides, and I'm going to go in reverse direction back through the other one. Whoops. I picked up the wrong needle. There we go. Go back through, so my thread is just going around from the tip of the ruler to the tip of the ruler, and I can go through, and don't try to do it all at once. And I'm going to go through that again, that loop again, just to reinforce it. And you can see how I'm turning the piece as I work. You should always feel that you can do that. However, it's comfortable and convenient and efficient for you to get your needle through where you want to go. So I'm coming out of the green ruler and I'm going to go back through all of those seed beads, just a few at a time, and pull them snug. There we go, 8, 11. So I know everybody's from all over the country, but I would bet that it's hot wherever you are, because it's hot everywhere right now, right? Okay. So now you have one of your bails. Now you can see that I want to go this way, and I want the next bail to be right here so that it's symmetrical. Can you see that? So I'm on the left, and I want to sew through my beads to come out this bronze ruler right here. Okay. Scottsdale, Arizona, you win, Julie. I know that you guys are really suffering. Some of us here on the East Coast in Team Leslie do not have air conditioning, and it really takes its toll. All right, I'm going to come through, and make sure you go through Now, I came all the way out through this ruler, but I want the loop to sit in between the bronze ruler and the green one. So I'm going to go back in the opposite direction to come out this way. Make sure your thread does not get caught on any of your little picots. And I'm going to repeat what I did for this one over here. So I have two bails, two little bail loops right there. You can make a cool little kumi cord. The tutorial shows you how to string a cord. I know everybody knows how to do that, but so you can pick up a pattern, and you do want to use, you know, complementary beads, but you can really play with the design here. Remember to make your loops big enough for whatever beads you're going to string. So there you go. And here's one I did with some fun colors, some brighter colors there. And that's the Regal Rulla. Remember, you can find Rulla beads. They would make cool earrings, Julie. I see your post there. They would make really cool earrings to hang. And you know what? You'd only need one You'd only need one. So what you would do then, or what I would do then, is I would make one more picot. So you would have picots going all the way around, and then attach a jump ring and your ear wire to it. They're very light, about 1 inch in diameter. So remember, you can find Rulla beads and Matubo beads or Czech or Japanese seed beads, 8s, 11s, everything. All these and other quality Beadsmith beads, tools, and supplies from your favorite bead reseller, right? And on behalf of Team Leslie Pope has posted the link for this already in our I Love Beads library. Yay, Team Leslie. Considering how hot it is, I think we're pretty cool. So, we love you. We love beads. Everybody stay hydrated. We're taking a break for August, so we'll see you in September. Bye.